NottsRockCast is an association with Regular Riot. Welcome to NottsRockCast, the Notts Alternative Scene podcast. And here is your host, Jethro D, bringing you everything Notts and rock.
Okay, welcome back, Notts Rockers, to another episode of NRC-055 over YouTube. Yes, this week we're talking to a band that I had very little knowledge of. I'd only watched one video of theirs and it was amazing. So, strap yourself in, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ding that bell to be notified when more videos are released of the podcast. And hopefully I'll get up to date soon. Right, welcome ladies and gentlemen. We're sat downstairs in the old salutation in the caves, the second chat I've done, and I'm here with the band Pretty-Babs. Is that how you pronounce it?
That's right. No,
cool.
it's Pretty-Babs.
Babs. Oh, there you go. And I'm with Matt.
Oh,
no.
Bad start. Sam.
Oh.
No, it's okay.
You see,
don't worry about it.
This is why I call it a chat.
You can call it.
Right, you're Matt from now on. Anyway, I'm with Sam and I'm with Liam.
Joke's on you, his name's Lee.
Lee?
Yeah, Lee. It's Matt and Lee.
Shit.
I mean, it's Sam and Liam. It's Sam and Liam.
Cool. I'm terrible with names, always have been. Someone saw me the other day on the tram when I was with my wife and I tried to introduce her to my wife and I stumbled. My wife looked at me very like, who's this woman? And I'm like, it's Simon's other half. It's, and now I know her name's Grace.
So her name's Grace, but were you christened Simon or were you born Simon?
Who, me? I'm not Simon.
No, you're not Simon.
No, I'm Jethro.
Well, okay, that was the thing. Matt.
Yeah.
You're Matt.
No, you're Matt.
I'm so confused. If your name is Matt...
No, your name's Matt because you're not Sam.
Apparently I'm Matt, yeah.
Okay.
I want to ask about Jethro, though.
So I'm Jethro.
Yeah, but are you Jethro as in Jethro Tull? Are you Jethro as in you were christened Jethro?
I am Jethro as in that's my name and that's all you need to know.
No, I don't. I want to know more.
So, ladies and gentlemen, would you like to introduce yourselves?
Well, I'm Matt, and this is Jethro.
If you're confused now, this is hilarious.
I'm Sam, and that's Liam. There's two others. They're not here at the moment. Busy, preoccupied. We all work, so...
Fair enough.
So we were the first persons to get here. The other ones are at home sleeping already. But they're Brad and Craig. And, but yeah... It's a happy-go-lucky group, isn't it, I suppose? But we always get confused our names all the time. That's our problem, I think.
You do?
Yeah, I think when
What, even though I did?
Well, you confuse our names, but we always give each other nicknames.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, we just give each other nicknames.
They're usually, like, stuff we can't say on the podcast.
No, probably not. I mean...
Okay.
No.
Like piss flaps?
That's just really bad. No, I get called Jethro, which is even worse to be fair. Jethro Piss Flaps.
Fair enough.
Yeah, that's cool. Christian name and then the surname. But I don't know what nickname would I give you if I could try. What nickname do I usually give you? Puberty Face. That's puberty face, isn't it?
Yeah, because he's trying to grow attached.
Yeah. Cool. Well, you've got like quite a nice, impressive beard. You know, it goes down a lot here.
Yeah.
But do you trim here?
Yes, usually I do. At the moment it's cold and I decided to put more rug on my face.
More rug? Okay, yeah. I mean, I've tried here. I did it the other day, but the problem I had is I'd shaved here.
Oh, right.
Which you can
and he's pointing just below his lip.
Just below my lip.
For audio descriptive purposes.
Okay, so for the point of audio, I've got a bum chin as well. I've got a proper ass face.
Oh, right.
Yeah, but I haven't been clean shaven for about 10 years.
I've never known you clean shaven. I've known you for like 8 years.
So I accidentally took it off. So it looked like a bum chin and then just a bit of straggly hair.
Oh, right.
The weird thing is he did this right before we shot a music video as well.
That is true, yeah, that's true.
Yeah?
Which is even worse when before I was going to do a gig in Manchester. And
when you shaved your head.
No, I didn't shave my head. I shaved my head for New Year's as a prank, and then it got too big on the sides, So I was like, I'll just take that off with some scissors.
Oh, right.
Yeah, oh, right. And there is oh, right, yeah. So I did it in the bath, and then I looked, I sort of took a photo of the back of my head to try and see.
Yeah.
And there was like 3 massive bald patches. And then I sent it to Liam, and he sent me a reaction of his face whilst he was playing snooker in a pub, and he was on the floor crying.
It was the funniest thing.
Yeah, and he was like, we're leaving for Manchester in an hour.
Okay.
Yeah. And I was like, okay, well, what do I do then? And he says, have you got any like beard graders? I says, yeah, but the grade 0. He went, take it all off. Take it all off. You look like Lenny from Mice and Men. Just take it all off, do it now. And he was talking about impulses and stuff like that and taking things off. Before going, I could not feel a single hair on my head. You're talking about being cold, I didn't mind. Actually, it came on my Facebook memories today. Manchester was a year ago.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
Yeah, tomorrow.
Year ago tomorrow. Wow. It was the coldest. It started snowing as I went out. Well, not a bit of a tangent then, but what I'm trying to say is...
So, what do you play in the band, Sam?
I played the beard grader.
The what?
The beard grader.
Oh, right, okay.
No, I'm joking. I'm the singer. And I play
the guitar.
Yeah.
And I'm the bassist.
Yeah, the bassist. We put you on vocals once, didn't we?
Yeah, it didn't kind of go down well, did it?
Why not?
Because I sound like a squealing cat.
Squealing cat, yeah, but squealing cats get a soprano note.
Yeah, I can't get that.
You can't get that?
No, definitely
Do you sound like Johnny Cash on Crystal Meth?
Yeah, I'll take that.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, this is an alternative.
That was nice, because his voice isn't that low. I'm getting from
it's not either.
When you sing, your voice is lower than I'm sort of anticipated.
Yeah, I tend to more shout than anything.
No,
rather than
shout.
Sing.
Okay. Brad can shout. That drummer, he can shout. He's got a nice, he's got a nice girly voice.
So does he give it the whole Phil Collins act then, if he can shout quite well and play drums?
I mean, he's balding, if that's what you mean, yeah.
He's what?
He's balding.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah, if that's what you mean. Well, if he's not here, I'm going to take the mick out of him. I don't care.
Okay. We've gone on so many tangents now.
You're just a nice person to talk to, Jeffro.
Tell me about the band. What are you about?
What was about? I mean, we formed in 2016. It was like I tried to come up with a big word then, but I couldn't come out of it. It's been a long day. We'll just say a mashup, which is
a mashup.
A mashup.
Okay.
Of different projects. We had Craig and Brad were in a band before us. Me and Liam have been playing for about
7 years.
7 years, yeah. In various different projects. It was my sort of folk background kind of thing. And then we got in the studio with a new drummer. Our drummer went to university in Leeds, and then we got Brad in, who's the balding Phil Collins guy.
Yeah.
And he was brilliant, wasn't he? And
Yeah, I've played with Brad in band before.
Yeah.
I've known him for years, so...
He just got us, didn't he? He got us,
Yeah.
and he got the thing is, it was still a folk project and a country project, and it's something that I think we wanted to move away from. I think it was getting a bit
tedious.
We're part of a bit of a, not a cult per se, but definitely a fun on the music scene sort of thing. And I think we wanted to sort of try something a bit different and a bit more rocky. We've all got various different heavier influences, and it worked. It worked. And we got that in, and then but there was only one guitar, so we needed another guitarist. So we brought Craig in, and it's just got a bit of a fuller sound, and we've gone from there really. But it's just that sort of, we call it hairy rock, and I've never really understood what that means.
You made it up, but we can never put ourselves to a genre. That's the issue.
What would you think if I said to you hairy rock? What do you associate with that? Because we don't know. We keep saying that.
Fraggles?
Into a Muppet?
Yeah, as in them things that are underneath the ground. Yeah, like Fraggle Rock.
Wow, okay.
So hang on. Okay, you're saying hairy rock, as in like hair metal but rock.
Oh no, no. That's the one thing we've thought. No. Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't think it's.
I thought it was like gritty, indie, punky sort of stuff. Then when we first started.
Yeah, but that's a terrible sort of a description. Look at that now.
We're a lot more rocky than we were before. But we've still got the indie tones to us every so often.
I think we tried to.
We can't pinpoint it.
Okay, so I'm guessing you're saying genreless, which is a big point at the moment amongst a lot of bands, because everyone is saying we don't want to be nailed down by a genre because that means we're in a box. But what I said to someone today, because I did turn around halfway through the day and I was like, shit, I best find out what this band sounds like. And then I said before you guys turned up, going to be chatting with the band Pretty-Babs. I am pronounced that right, aren't I?
Yes.
Or is it Babes?
No, it's Pretty-Babs.
Right.
No, it's not Pretty-Babs.
So I had to try and describe you, and what I said was they're a bit like Blackstone Cherry without the USA and country shit that is iconically...
The Roadrunner Records.
Yes, but like... It's very much that hard-hitting vocals in the back of the throat and very rock guitars with... I don't want to make the drummer suddenly blush, but like almost hitting that Bonham sound.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I mean, I think the more we've started playing, the heavier it's got a little bit. And I don't listen to Blackstone Chapter. I have seen them, but I don't particularly listen to them. But I do know what you mean. It's that kind of... I suppose we've released a few tracks recently, or we've been in the studio literally about 300 yards up the road from here.
All right, which one was that?
Mount Street, which is sort of near the Grosvenor Casino.
Yeah.
Near. We went all this, so literally you walk in, it's the back alleyway or the back parking lot of an Indian restaurant.
Yeah.
And then on your left, you've got literally a mountain silhouette.
Yeah.
And then you knock on the door, you open it up and you go down to this big expensive studio. And the reason we say big and expensive is that we can't afford it.
Yeah.
But somehow we've managed to put all this money together and do it. And the sounds that are coming out we really produce, but in a hard hitting way as well, if you know what I mean. So, so I know what you mean about the lacking the country thing. I think Blackstone Cherry, there's quite.
I didn't mean like lacking it. I meant.
No.
It was a sound without that whole iconic USA. We're USA, we're country, and we're also country rock.
Yeah.
It was more down to earth UK rock, which I really liked.
I've had that analogy before, but with, is it Gaslight Anthem?
Yeah, very much.
Yeah.
It's literally, we've like inadvertently created that sound without even listening to the band as well. Like I've never before someone said it and I went back and listened. Yeah, it's strange.
They're a good band, like, but I would see Blackstone and Gaslight. We got Queens of the Stone Age ones. But
we've had Foo Fighters a lot as well.
Yeah, I don't really listen to them either.
Foo Fighters for some of the rhythms that you go through when you interchange between parts.
Yeah, I like backing out of guitar and hearing the bass line a lot. That's one of the things I like doing.
Yeah.
Because I don't... there's a song and it's just...
So he's a good bass player then?
No, I'm joking.
Oh, right.
It's alright, man. Yeah, it's good. What I like about...
So when was the last time you changed your strings?
Actually, about 2 months ago.
Oh, cool.
You lie. You said it like 3 years ago.
No, 2 months ago. I changed 2 months ago.
But you don't expect this. He snapped a string. It's not our gig, but he was in another band. He snapped a bass string. Was it the E string?
It was the top E string.
It was a top E.
At a headline festival show as well. This was about 7 years ago, I think it was. Yeah.
Can you imagine the sound snapping a bass?
It was when I first.
Oh, did you play yourself?
Yeah, I play bass myself, and obviously a lot faster than probably you guys do. But it's one of the most controversial things. Obviously, I'm talking with you rock. Can I say rockers?
Yeah, you say rockers.
And I come from a metal background personally, so it gets brought up a lot that metal bassists struggle to bassists in general struggle to change their strings, but in metal it's like you really do have to change your strings to make sure that you're getting that hard hitting sound.
You do the chung ching 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 thing, don't you, sort of thing?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
There is a running joke between you and Craig, as I will buy a new bass rather than change the strings quite often.
That's true. You do.
Oh, I haven't heard that one, but that's cool.
Yeah, I do.
So how many basses do you own now?
I think I've got 4 because I've just got rid of one. But I just went through a phase of just buying a new bass, just trying to fit that sort of sound that I wanted.
Yeah.
And ended up with a Fender Jaguar because I couldn't pick between a jazz and a P-bass.
I liked your Thunderbird.
Fair play.
I loved the Thunderbird, but it just didn't fit.
What, just for the sound? Or was it the feel as well?
I played it for a good like 7 or 8 years, and it just didn't seem to fit with the band. Or I just
signed by the Levellers.
It was just it was signed
like the Levellers.
Yeah, the Levellers.
Yeah.
Oh wow!
But it just every time I played it, I just didn't like it. It was top heavy and felt down. It just didn't have the right feel that I wanted for everything. And I'm quite picky with bass, aren't I? They're quite strenuous.
Maybe you should take a leaf out of the metal book and do the whole ching 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 thing as I've come up with.
Fair play. Yeah. So fingers or pick?
See, I always started off on fingers, but I play with pick now.
Cool.
Unless it's the softer songs, then I try to go back to fingers.
I've heard that. Is it a rumour through bass players that if you play with a pick, it's like very, very bad, and you should literally just start working at Aldi?
Certain bass players are bored.
Start working at Aldi.
Wow. That is my job.
He works at Aldi.
So seeing as you come out with that amazing quote, can you give us a quote of inspiration or something inspiring?
A quote of inspiration or something inspiring. I've got one. Have you got one?
Go for it.
What an inspirational quote. Well, mine's kind of funny, but I don't know. I think the thing I like about this band is there's a lot of bands on any scene, I suppose, that are just, I don't know if they pretend to be something they're not or not, but that's neither here nor there. But we are literally 4 people from a very small local pub in North Nottinghamshire who, had our drummer's dad owns the pub, and we played for the darts team and that.
Right.
And that was our first.
Which pub's that?
It's called the Black Market, which is sort of the North
Warside.
Warside, yeah, of course, yeah. It was the last rock venue I can think of, apart from maybe this place.
Yeah.
Within a 20-mile radius, and it's literally it came from just jamming at that and hanging around and playing darts. And I think one of the quotes I like to sum that up would be, there's always those little ones like remember to love, not just live, and play with her boobs, not her heart, that kind of thing. Break her bed, not her heart again.
Yeah.
My favourite one is always salt your pasta whilst cooking it. And I like that because I think it relates to what we are, which is that very simple, straight edge sort of working class. Well, you know what? Salting pasta is more important than headlining Glastonbury, in my opinion. Because there's nothing worse. Well, there's nothing worse than bad pasta, is there?
Well, you could be waking up in the morning at Glastonbury knowing you're going on later, sat there with like a mess tin on a burner, like literally salting your pasta.
Well, yeah, exactly. But listen, they'd be like, right, 5 minutes, Pretty-Babs. And then you'd be like, well, I'm sorry, but we can't because his pasta is plain. So.
Yeah. Sounds
ridiculous, but it's things like that make me laugh and that gets me through the day. So I suppose it's an inspiration. I don't know, I think it's very, very real. I think real's the right word. It's taking the make and but I like that one. Have you got an Oscar Wilde quip for us?
My favourite one is always just going to be every hand you ever shake has probably had a dick in it.
Wow, okay. Amazing.
That's my favourite quote I've ever heard anyone say. I like that quote because it's when I first got told it, I literally sat there and went,
oh, hang on, have you heard the other one? That's like when you sat on a bus and you see like a really, really old woman and she's struggling to get up and out of her seat and you just look at her and go, Christ, bet she's had a dick in. You know what I mean? I know it's supposed to be friendly, but
what this is?
Think about, yeah.
This is an alternative scene podcast.
Oh,
I told you.
All right,
it's explicit.
So alternative rockers, when you're on the bus and you see a woman named Maureen or something, and she's struggling to get up.
Maureen, that's my grandma's name.
Maureen. So when you're on the bus and you see Liam's grandma called Maureen, get up and you shake her hand, you know there's been a dick in there. But then you just think, oh, I bet she's had a dick and a half. She has, you know what I mean?
Wow.
I just think something like that would really bring it back. But we're all human, even Maureen. And sometimes she's been an animal.
Personally, we are all human, for definite.
Maureen's more.
Right, you guys, are you both originally from Nottinghamshire?
Yes.
Yeah.
Whereabouts? And tell us more.
I believe both Mansfield, aren't we?
Well, you're from, they'd say Mansfield and Nottingham. You're from Warsaw, which is sort of...
Yeah, pretty much Mansfield.
3 or 4 miles.
Born and bred, yeah.
I live in Clipston, but I'm from Huffwaite, which is nearer Derbyshire, actually. So I class myself as a Derbyshire boy. No, I'm joking, I don't.
Is that the Pitheads still up in...
Yeah, they're still up there, yeah.
Yeah, they're never going to take them down, are they?
Well, they're on about making it into a Costa, but...
Oh, really?
Yeah, a big Costa.
They're about making it into a museum and a cafe.
Yeah. Well, they didn't vote, right? Because there's only like 2,500 people live in Clipston, and I got it from my post. And out of 2,500, so what's 2,500 divided by 2? 1,200 and whatever, 50, right? The vote was 1,250 people want to get rid of the headstocks, and 1,251 people want to keep it. So for some reason they're keeping it up by one vote, which means if anyone from Clipston is listening, I have saved a part of our heritage and our history. So you're welcome, but also I want to cost a building because the one at Co-op ain't very good.
Is that a Costa Express machine?
Yeah, one of them crap machines. I mean, I love one of them.
Wow,
just not the same. But yeah, I like the North for Notts.
It was one thing. Obviously, I talk about the fact that I came from down south and I moved up to Nottinghamshire. Well, Mansfield originally, then moved to Ollerton.
You're my boy.
Pardon?
You're a Mansfield boy.
Well, no, originally it was in Henley-on-Thames, and then I moved to Mansfield.
Oh, I see.
And then I moved to Ollerton. But the first time I went past Clipston and saw them headstocks, I was like, fuck.
Yeah.
Wow. People talk about mining all the time, but I'd never been like as close as you get on the bus to what was a mining site.
Yeah.
Because everything's been taken down now, so...
I lived next door to there for only about 6 months, but... Took you, I don't know, when you wake up, I mean, I know it's only a small part of a very small pond or something, but this is, as far as Nottingham goes, you know, you still have all these landmarks. We're quite close to Sherwood Forest and that, aren't we, really?
Yeah.
And so are you. But when I woke up and I saw that, I was like, you know what, it could be worse, because, you know, this could have been nothing, this village, you know, it could have been made out of nothing, it could have been fought for nothing, and actually there's a lot of history in there, isn't there? So, I'm proud to be from around there. I know my accent's dreadful, as is yours. Yours is worse than mine, really.
Yeah, I'm a lot more common.
You are, yeah.
Don't worry, my accent, you couldn't tell where the hell I'm from. Someone thought I was from Northamptonshire.
Well,
and I was like, I'm from down south and I've moved up north, Midog.
I can tell you from down south.
Yeah?
Yeah, you ordered, you ordered a shandy at the bar.
Fuck off. Right, outside of the band, what's your professions?
As Sam said, I'm a manager at Aldi.
Oh, you're a manager at Aldi?
Yes.
Did
Not
you get
even
Christmas and Boxing Day off?
Yeah, we always.
Sorry, I just had to bring that.
No, that's fine. We always have. I don't know why it's just getting media attention now, but it's been like that for years.
Really?
Yeah.
So I think it's because the fact that every time you turn up to Aldi or the other one, you
Tesco.
You only ever see two people on the tills.
It's because there's probably only two people in store.
Fair play. At least we just covered that one.
Why not 3?
So how?
You run on the minimum amount of staff you can.
Ah, I see. Okay, they're all at Tesco, aren't they?
Yeah.
Okay.
But so how's that been? Was it something that you started out in the lower ranks and moved your way up, or?
Yeah. I started out as store assistant. After 2 years, moved my way up to a manager. Carried on from there. It's good. I enjoy the job. And the time it gets tough is just festival season, because it's just I'm non-stop.
Yeah.
Work band, just relentlessly.
Well, that was going to be my next question. Was how does it work with the band? So
It's been tough, but I've got really understanding managers, and the manager I've got now is really understanding. He's brilliant with it.
So hang on, you're a manager and you've got a manager.
So
there's a manager over there.
I'm confused.
I'm a stepping manager. I'm not the top manager in the store.
Cool.
My manager is really understanding with us and gives me whatever time off I need for the band.
Hang on, isn't he in the new video?
He is in the video.
Yeah.
Actually.
Oh, sorry, with no contact. We released it. Well, we recorded a video for a new song
last week, weren't it?
Yeah. And the basis of it is the people coming up and and doing a karaoke tour, or you know, a joke karaoke tour in the local pub.
We had someone pull out at the last minute, didn't we?
Yeah.
I had to call him in because he's just eccentric and
He messed up his lines about. Well, I don't know if he messed up his lines, but all his only line was, "Do you know any Oasis?" That was his line. It was supposed to be a joke, as in, no, we don't do that kind of covers, but we do our own stuff.
Oh right.
But he literally came up with a pattern. Do you do any Oasis? Court? No, it's not good enough. What? You hesitated. Come back. Okay. Do you do it? And I listened.
he was great.
He was great, but I looked, because he was saying it to me.
You just looked disgusted.
I looked at his pint, and it just got, progressively lower and lower and lower until it was nearly empty. Do you know any Oasis? Do you know how to order another beer, mate? Do you know what I mean? It was one of them. But he was a good lad. He was a really good lad.
He was great.
Yeah.
Cool.
And
so what's the song for this video then?
well, it's called When the Morning Comes Around. So it was a bit of the. It had that vibe of being at a pub till very late, and then wanting that little bit more before going home. We just, like I said, we've been in Mount Street doing quite a few songs with 8 singles, and that's going to be sort of the second one. We've got the first one coming out, which by the time that this is released, it should either be out or it's very close to being out.
Yeah.
And the reason I'm saying that is not to do with not knowing when yours is going to be out. It's that we're really, really bad with knowing when.
No, it comes out on the 31st.
Oh, it definitely comes out on the 31st.
Oh, so sorry, it's something that's, because I run a studio myself, and it's one of these things that I get confused when a band gives a date. Now, I understand why they give a date, or else they ain't going to release it. Mm-hmm. Because, if you don't have a date, it's like, oh, can we just change that one guitar in that chorus on the 3rd song of the album, even though there's 12 songs to go?
Yeah.
Now, some bands wait
all the bass, please, Lee.
Well, yeah, some bands wait for. Some bands wait till they have the master copy in their hand, then give the release date. So
essentially, that's what we did.
Yeah.
We waited for the master copy. Got a release date, but we'd have had it out by now, wouldn't we? But we've had to wait for the release and the company to get it on Spotify and everything together. That just took time.
I think doing it self-released, which is obviously what most bands do around Nottingham.
Yeah.
It takes time, because you can 2 or 3 weeks in advance. You're desperate to get it released. You want people to hear what you've done, particularly people who have seen you before or are eager. It might only be 10, 15, 20 people who really want to hear it, but it's a nice ego boost when it is, isn't it? I suppose. So we sort of said, look, it's definitely going to be this day. We announced it on Facebook. We got a bit of attention for it. We did the promo, and then all of a sudden the place will turn around and say, oh, it's not ready. I can't put it on.
Yeah.
Which has happened before. So
It happened with our album.
Happened with that. Yeah, we did a DIY album.
How many albums you released? Just
got one album, one EP.
Okay.
Yeah. It was our anniversary, wasn't it, actually? We finished it. Did it 2 or 3?
It was today we started recording it. 3 years ago. Yeah. Today we started recording it 3 years ago.
Oh. So 3 years ago we were doing a debut album, apparently.
Yeah.
It was like a DIY sort of album. We worked with Phil Taylor, who does the sound at The Angel in town, and that,
And Albert's.
Yeah, he's a good lad. And we did it with him in the loft. I think we were drunk for most of it.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure we were. The tracks were only about 3 months old, and we just we need to get them down.
Yeah.
And they were good tracks, but we didn't really know what we were doing. We'd never been in a studio as a band before, and I think we just laid it down at about. I think we were drinking for about 11 or 12 a day, and that's not to sound like we're the Geigers or anything. We were just nervous, so I think we were like, we'll get it down and you'll play a lot better.
It was nerves and boredom as well. It's a long time waiting for someone to get their entire album's worth of stuff done. So you sat around for a long time, so there's not a lot better to do than drink, really.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of recording anyway.
Yeah, I know you're not.
All depends what type of recording you do at the end of the day.
Yeah.
It was something I was saying to a friend the other night that works for Nottingham Trent, and I said to him, do you know any punk bands at the moment? Because I literally want to turn up to a rehearsal studio, let them play the whole of their set and record it, and then make an album out of it.
Bootleg, is what I used to call it, isn't it?
Yeah. That's kind of what I really want to do, but I'm going to have to look for I say punk band because obviously punk needs to be that raw edge, but I need to find a band that has never recorded before.
Oh, right.
Even though you're nodding like,
we nodded.
We'll take him up.
No, we nodded because we knew a punk band.
You do?
We did, but they've recorded. But I know what you mean. You just turn up at a gig or a rehearsal studio. And
I just want that whole
raw,
tight knit. We know how to do this. Don't put us to a click. Don't make us play individually. I just want to hear a whole band in a room, position all the instruments in a room like ready to go.
So we were actually going to do our EP like that originally, weren't we?
We were. We did the first album.
It's not easy.
In fact, we've never done it like that.
We have, but just for like YouTube purposes. When we did it with Ben first.
Yeah, we did. Sorry, yeah. We've done it before. I much prefer to do it that way, but obviously, inevitably, the sound is going to be. You're going to be picky if you.
And we changed so much in the studio.
30 years ago, that was a done thing. I remember reading about Black Sabbath doing that. They just literally went in and they went, that didn't have enough bollocks.
Yeah.
Just absolutely give it. No, that's enough. I love hearing a recording and going, you're out of tune there, but not giving an actual fuck.
No,
it was so like raw and sort of real.
It's a balance between energy and perfect performance, isn't it?
Of course, yeah. And I mean, I still maintain. I know it's alternative music, but
I'm going to ask you one more question, and we're going to go for a break.
Okay. Yeah.
What hurdles have you guys personally faced, and how did you overcome them?
Liam? What hurdles?
No, I don't think we've really had too many, but I think the main thing we've had is trying to break in with like DHP and getting that next level sort of thing with where we'd like to go. That's the main thing we're struggling with, and that's what we're struggling with now.
So I'm guessing it's getting from like playing in a rehearsal studio, doing a couple of local gigs, to actually hitting a promoter that rings you, you don't ring them.
I think we've got some sort of milestones we've had. We came runner-up at
Future Sound
and Future Sound Nottingham. We played Rock City and the main
that
stage.
was one of the videos I watched today.
Well, great.
Really enjoyed that.
Yeah, thank you, mate. And then that was brilliant, and it was a nice competition, nice recognition. We didn't win, but it's one of those things where you don't really care. The prize is Rock City, isn't it?
Yeah.
And we came away buzzing, absolutely buzzing, and thought that we're on top of the world, but we're on top of our world. You know what I mean? And I think it's just going from. It's not from A to B; it's from B to C. Do you know what I mean? I feel like we're at B. I think we've done well. We've got a footing. We've got the experience. We've got the songs.
We've got a fan base. We have certain people that come to the majority of the gigs all the time.
We've got a modest fan base. I quite like it. Yeah.
And it's growing. It's just trying to get that next step. I mean, we had the bodega last year. We were 20 tickets from selling it out.
Yeah.
Our own headline show. It's the first chance we've had as like foot in the door with DHP.
Yeah.
We've got Rough Trade next week.
We'll talk about that in the second half.
It's just now that getting the next step of trying to expand it and build that fan base just that little bit more, so we know we can sell out a show, or we could just get to the next step where someone's going to see it, or like DHP might notice it a bit more and actually try and book us on for their gigs and get support slots and stuff like that. I think that's the next sort of step.
I think for me it's milestones.
Cool.
I like ticking off. Personally, I like ticking off milestones. So I've done this gig in Nottingham.
Sorry, I'm going to say we're going to go for a break.
No, of course. It's fine. That's fine. Either way.
Yeah. I really hope you're enjoying listening to this over YouTube. It's absolutely brilliant. But if you listen to it through a podcast player, you get reviews, music, and news. Go check it out. That painting.
It's quite cool.
Who's it supposed to be?
It's Cromwell.
That's Cromwell.
Yeah.
Suddenly I don't like it. I mean,
it's
nice, yeah.
We are now in the Cromwell Snug.
Cromwell Snug. Yeah. It's called the Cromwell Snug.
The one across the way is the Charles Snug.
Okay.
Now, the interesting fact is, from what Jay told me, and I can't remember which way round it is, and he's going to kill me if he listens to this. Right. Is the Sal has been neutral territory for as long as the pub has been here.
Okay.
Basically, when the Civil War happened, the landlord said, to, let's say Cromwell, for instance, you can have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Yeah. And he said to Charles, you can have Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Right. And both of them said, well, what about Sunday? And the landlord said, well, that's my day.
Oh, right.
So
he was only claiming himself.
Yeah.
Lord-like, wasn't he, I suppose? But,
pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much.
Right, okay, welcome back. We're into the second half, which is Knots and Rock. Really enjoyed that. As you'll probably notice, there's not so much echo now. It was really cold down in the caves and the people have left the Cromwell Snug, which I technically call my office.
This is what you call your office, is it?
Yeah, I call this my office. If you've ever heard my podcasts, 90% of them have been in here or they've been in my studio.
When you said we could step into my office, I was expecting a computer and a filing system and one of those birds like off The Simpsons that dips into water.
Yeah, but I got a bar in the next room.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
It's a lot better.
Yeah, that is good. I mean, I'd never leave my office, to be fair.
No, I think I'd live here.
Yeah, if I had misses, I'd be like, I'm sorry, but I've got to work at the office tonight. It's like, you be in the pub, wait, just don't question my professionalism.
Well, my wife sat next door with a social group that happens on a Wednesday.
Okay. What's the social group?
I'll tell you after. But there's a social group that happens on here on a Wednesday.
Okay.
It's interesting.
Fair enough.
Right, so welcome back. I'm with Pretty-Babs, well, half of the band. We've got Sam, Liam, or Matt and Lee.
No, Jeffro.
Oh, Jeffro, sorry.
Jeffro the second.
Yeah.
Fan of that.
So we're chatting today about the band and we're talking Knots and Rock. So I'm going to ask you the first question. We can delve back into the band when you like. First question is, what do you love and enjoy about Nottingham or Nottinghamshire as a geographical place? Not so much the alternative scene or the music scene.
We've already said about the history of Nottingham anyway. I find the fact that we've got Sherwood Forest right there. We've got this place with the caves and the castle. Everything around that I'm fascinated by.
Whenever I think about this area, I always think about, there's a quote in Blackadder's Christmas Carol.
Oh, right.
And there's one it's on about from those well-spoken folk down in the south to the rambunctious working class folk up in the north, and then it goes to those plump little delightful fellows in the middle. And I always like that. I always like that quote.
Oh, right.
That's what we're like. I don't mean plump per se, but I like the idea of us being they're all right. Yeah. They're neither argumentative nor expensive, but they're a little bit more well-spoken than the north or whatever you want to call it. I like the fact that they were quite normal. And the fact that we're quite in the middle of the country, and I quite like that. But I like the working classness of this place, but also it's filled with history. I mean, Nottingham's filled with history, Mansfield's filled with history, and I like the mix of the two, because it's like, you can get the heritage and the culture on the Saturday. On Sunday, you can go to the pub for a carver in football. And I don't know, I quite like that.
So you're a football fan?
I am, yeah. Well, we all are, yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
I don't really talk about it very much because I don't support a team that's very well liked. Not local. No.
Fair play.
We'll leave it at that one because
Okay, seeing as you've talked about Mansfield having an interesting history, tell me something locally interesting about Mansfield then. Because I'm interested to know, because all I ever learned when I was in Mansfield was up me duck and up to round corner.
Up to round corner? What went round corner? Or Town Mill?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Well, Town Mill's closed off now, isn't it?
Yeah. Tell me something history about Mansfield then, because it's something that I never really delved into. Other than it was one of the lovely market towns.
You mentioned it, so you're going for it.
What thing I mentioned?
You just said Mansfield had a good history. I don't believe you.
No, it's got a short history. But there was one that I heard about it when I was on bus. I was bored on bus and I read it, and I learnt some history. I'll tell you them. It was about the King and the Miller.
Right.
They were a miller, and he weren't earning a lot of money.
Yeah.
And he were low on food and stuff, and he went hunting.
Yeah.
And he stole some game from the king of, I don't know if it was England, but it was a certain district. It might have been.
I'm guessing it was King of England.
I assume it was the King of England. Yeah.
We haven't had a king of the district, have we?
Well, no, not yet. Well, I'm still hoping.
Yeah.
I think he stole some game from the King of England, and anyway, and just. No, I've got this wrong. I've got it. That was it. The king. Listen, the king was hunting in the forest.
Yeah.
And the king got lost.
Yeah.
And then someone took him in. Stop laughing. This is a true story. Apparently, I read it on a bus.
Yeah.
And then the guy who saved the king, because the king was lost in the woods after shooting game. That was it.
Yeah.
Now, or hunting game. And he says, "Come and stay with me, and I'll give you lodging, and I'll give you some food."
And this was the miller.
This was the miller. The miller gave the king accommodation, shelter.
Yeah.
And then he gave him some venison. Now the king knew that this venison was nicked from royalty.
Yes.
This miller had not hunted this game himself. He'd stolen the
I'm
venison.
so glad I put my recorder on my case because I might not catch your tap.
I should probably tell you I'm a teacher, so I get quite I get quite into when I teach something. So yeah, and just as he leaves, he thanks him. You know, oh, cheers for cereal, mate. It was lovely. Cheers for venison. That was great. He puts a sword out to the miller, and the miller sort of gets on his knees and does a little clap.
Yeah.
Like a prayer, like please don't slay me. I know I've stolen the venison, and he thinks the king's going to kill him for stealing venison.
Yeah.
Instead, he knights him.
Oh, right.
And he knights him Sir
Miller?
Yeah, Sir Miller of whatever. And then basically, because he gave him lodging, he is then legally allowed to eat at the court of the king and the royalty and eat legal venison, all because he gave him lodging. And the moral of that story is that Midlanders and people from Mansfield and Nottinghamshire will forever be accommodating.
Yeah.
And I love that story. And the worst part is I've had venison and it's fucking horrible.
It's amazing.
No, you've got to be joking me.
He's a vegetarian. He's one of them.
Oh, right, fair enough.
I'm the only meat eater in the band.
Yeah, that's true.
You're the only meat eater in the band?
Yes.
That's quite interesting.
It's not.
No, I meant from the fact of...
from it.
Like...
It's called willpower.
Willpower?
Yeah. He has no.
Thought your name was Sam.
No, it's the other one. Matt. So yeah, that's an interesting fact. That's a bit of an historical fact.
I think my favourite thing about Mansfield is the brewery.
Brewery, which has been closed down.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Still what?
They're still brewing. They're still making the beers, but
I'm not sure where they're brewing that now. I think it's Burton or somewhere like that. I think all the brewings moved to Burton, so...
Yeah, but I think they're bringing it back. I think they're opening another sector of the brewery or something like that. Yeah, where it is. Got our local, the wee Sam right now, talking about what it brewery, it Warwick Centre, and it got moved to Burton, man. Going back, man. I tell you about that, man. Oh, it is, man. Oh, Jeffrey, it is. Sorry, I thought that was good.
I'm just going to go back to the story because you go on so many tangents I can't keep up with them.
It's amazing up there.
But seriously, it obviously explains, if you've ever been to Mansfield, got on the number 1 bus, they call it the Miller, and then the hospital there is called the King's Mill, so it explains a lot. So if people didn't know that, that's a story to look into.
Yeah, and relating back to us, I fell out my mum at King's Mill. I fell out my mum.
Oh, as in we're born?
No.
Oh, you fell out with your mum?
I fell out my mum. I don't call it being born, I call it falling out.
Right.
I dropped out, didn't I?
Your mum shit you out, Sam, that's what you mean.
That's disgusting, and we're editing that.
Mate,
gross.
that is horrible.
But you're right about that,
let's go through a theoretical scenario.
Go on then.
A person gets off a train or bus, checks into their hotel, then goes to the bar you're stood at and says, I've never been to Nottinghamshire before, whereas the one place that you suggest I check out before I go home.
Does it have to be?
Can be anywhere you like in Nottinghamshire.
It's either Rock City or Market.
I think either Black Market in Warsaw.
Yeah.
Take the £30 taxi.
Yeah.
Go. Or back the way they came from, on the train.
Yeah.
Because there's no hotels here. You know what I mean?
a couple of Gregs, but
It's, to me, it's just always going to be black market. It's like at home.
I think it's so obscure because we talk about it. We are biased because it's two people's local, and I class it as my local, but it's actually two buses or one £10 taxi away.
Yeah.
But the black market is, I mean, Dave owns it, Dave Drury, and it's just, I'm thinking about rock venues in Nottinghamshire in a 20-mile radius, and I can't think.
It doesn't have to be a rock venue. I didn't say the person was into the alternative scene, but they did turn up to the bar you stood at. So
I still think it'd be the same.
I think they'd love it. I think it'd be just the right amount of local.
Yeah, it's a nice, welcoming sort of little community in there, and it's just a great place to be. Like, if you think of a local pub, like, think of people looking down on you, but anyone could just walk in and they'll welcome them.
They used to have a no trackies and no trainers.
Still do.
They still do.
Friday, Saturday night.
They still let you in.
no tracksuit and no trainers.
No.
Wow.
Not no trainers. It's
Not
just
trainers.
No tracksuit bottom, no workwear.
I didn't try to establish a sense of letting, you let go of all of that, and do you know what I mean? Like, if you go out, you make not an effort, but you know what I mean, some kind of a, I don't know. I'll tell you what, there's a place around my way, about half a mile up the road from me, and you're not allowed on your phone in the pub.
Do you know what? I really like that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I'd keep going outside to do the work shit. But to be honest, then I would slowly learn that I was missing out on conversations, and I might end up not being on my phone and actually stood in the pub.
No, I appreciate that.
Because a friend did say to me this afternoon, before you guys turned up, I turned up slightly earlier, I finished work, had to go do a few errands, came in, and I'm sat at the bar, and all I could think about was someone's going to call me in a second. I best make sure I know my phone is somewhere I can feel it. Because when was the last time you guys had your phone on non-silent? Well, on tone.
Now, I haven't got it on now.
So I always have my phone on silent, but it's always on vibrating in my pocket.
No, I hate vibrate more than I hate sound.
Well, you see,
Really?
I worked out that I haven't had my phone on a ringtone for about almost 10 years.
No.
And I don't know why. I just have got so used to it being in my pocket, not on that silly fucking Khalees ringtone.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm a bit old, but there used to be this whole get the ringtone advert, and it annoyed the hell out of me.
It's strange to say that, because I was thinking about this the other day. I mean, 10, 15 years ago, one of the biggest trends was having a ringtone that was your favourite song.
Yeah.
So, and it had to have a good intro. So the biggest one was like Mr. Brightside or Enter Sandman or whatever, or whatever. Or,
Yeah, and Sandman was a terrible one because the intro's so quiet.
yeah, I know, but everyone had it. Everyone had that.
Kicks in.
Or what's the other one? Dun, 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 Master of Puppets. They had that, Master of Puppets, or Ace of Space. And now people get annoyed when they hear bring, 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 like a normal sort of what is it? 100 years old telephone ring.
Yeah.
It's just strange how culture changes like that. We've gone from that to that.
See, I was trying to think of how the Nokia sound was, and then shout out, "Hello! Hello! I'm on the mobile!"
I'm going through a tunnel. Very strange.
Sorry, that's just brought back.
No, of course, no. But
that's brought back an image of the fact that you know how our mobile phones are now turned into our alarm clocks.
Sure.
Yeah.
Do you know Machine Head?
Yeah, I've seen it.
The song "And Now We Die" starts out with that lovely orchestral music,
And then it goes.
yeah, and then it kicks in. Now, I had that as my alarm clock when I met my wife, and she'd never heard the heavy part when it kicks in. And then one day she stood in the pub and heard the song the whole way through and said, "How can you have that as your alarm tone?" And I'm like, because I never get that far.
No, but I would get that far because I've slept through my alarm for the past 2 weeks.
Wow.
I get up about 6:30, but I keep waking up about 7:15, 7:30, and I've been late for work quite a long time. But
we didn't actually get onto that subject. So, what's your profession?
I work with challenging young learners, teenagers, about 12. I mean, the youngest I've got is 12. oldest is 17, and they've been kicked out of mainstream school.
Yeah.
It's good, it's challenging, but it's just something that comes quite naturally. I think it's one of those things, it's like, you were talking about the local thing, and what do you like about Mansfield and that? Is it, those kind of areas kind of generate a lot of alternative lifestyles and walks of life and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And these kids have, you know, some of them have been brought up in poverty, some of these kids have been brought up in fairly well, but, you know, they might have neurodiversity like autism or ADHD. Some of them like grime, some of them like metal music. It's one of those things where they're just growing up very differently, and mainstream doesn't work for them. And what we do is sort of take them under the wing, and I teach media and I teach English. So I sort of give them a BTEC, give them a fighting chance. I would do is employability as well, try and find them a job for afterwards. So but I think one of the things that you said about hurdles as a band, and when it come to that, was my biggest hurdle is not only separating the work-life balance, but also the attitude you show at work versus the attitude you show when you do something amazingly fun like being a band. It's strange. It's like you have to be a lot more confident when you're at work, and with a band you also have to be equally as confident, but somehow I don't know, it's different.
You've got to try and be more so, if anything.
It's almost like you're putting on a pseudonym or a face like all day. I find, I don't know about you, for Alvy, but it's like putting on a face all day.
Yeah,
if that makes any sense. We all have different identities throughout the day, I think, personally. But maybe that's going a bit too far.
No, I think that's very legitimate from every walk of life I have been in.
Yeah.
But I took on a job over 3 years ago where I'm the same the way I am now. I'm the same when I'm that side of the bar. I'm the same when I'm podcasting. I'm the same when I'm at work, because I think you were about to ask, what do I do?
Well, yeah.
I make XLR cables, guitar cables, audio cables.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And I chose a job where I could just be me.
Sure.
And I'm, if my boss listens to this, I don't get paid well at all. And, well, I say I don't get paid well at all, but I do get paid enough to get by on. And I do this as a love and a passion, because all I want to do is get into recording music. Now I've had my own hurdles that I've overcome.
Sure.
But I completely understand that, because do you know Bloodstock?
Yeah.
The host of Bloodstock was on my Audience Attended podcast.
Really?
Now, halfway through, I had to ask him a question about how do you feel about, and I'm going to like para-quote myself.
Yeah.
How do you feel about being watching what you say on social media, considering it might come back to the fact that you're the host of Bloodstock? Because, you know, I can't. There's a lot of stuff I've wanted to say and could have said on social media, but I don't, because it might get reflected to the podcast. But as we had established at the beginning of this chat, no Brexit, no politics, and the podcast is explicit. Fuck it. So, you know.
Yeah. I think you're quite lucky in that respect then. I mean, I'm not saying I'm not me or anything. I just think it's different, isn't it? Because no student would have ever thought I would be a singer.
Yeah.
Or a frontman of a band unless they asked, and it might be the same with Aldi, I suppose. I mean, I don't know. I just think about this sort of stuff when you see people at work and you think, is that actually what you're doing? Yeah. Or is that just a fragment of your overall sort of identity? So, I mean, is that the same with you? Or?
Yeah, pretty much. It's two sides to everyone. Everyone has to do a job, and then you've got your personal life as well.
I think there's several sides, really, isn't there? Yeah, I find it because we talk about hurdles and stuff. I think that's the biggest contributor. For me. But I think there's a quote of Horrible Bosses.
Right, I haven't seen that
film. It's a good film. And Jason Sudeikis is in it, and he said, if you hate your job, the only person I think is to blame is yourself. Yeah, I've only yourself to blame for hating that job. I don't hate any of my jobs. Any.
Well, that's a quote that I love is, if you do a job you love, you'll never work a day in your life.
Yeah.
So,
I like that one.
right, let's go on with some questions.
Of course, yeah.
What is your most treasured musical object? And it doesn't have to be an instrument.
Yeah. Could be a dildo.
I'll tell you about this girl, right? I knew a lovely girl.
I don't know where this is going.
She's bought the box set for Rammstein.
Okay.
Right, and if anyone knows what the box set of Rammstein is, very interesting. But she keeps it in her cupboard. And I was like, why'd you keep it in your cupboard? She said, I don't want my mum to see it. And she's got Rammstein stuff everywhere. So anyway, there we go.
That's mad, that's amazing. Do you have one of them? Do you have a Rammstein box set?
I have seen Rammstein though.
I've never seen them.
Really entertaining.
Are they good?
I still think my most treasured instrument is my Jaguar.
Your
You
Jaguar?
bought that a year ago. Yeah, it's an animal. Keeps an animal in his house.
My treasured Jaguar. I absolutely love that guitar. I've only had it for about 9 months or so, but literally I just couldn't ask for more from it. It was awesome.
Okay, tell us. Colour?
What is it?
Surf green.
No, it's blue.
Surf blue. Surf green.
Yeah, it's like a.
Surf.
I say surf blue, or is it Pacific blue? What Fender call it?
Doesn't matter what specifically it is.
With a maple
No.
net.
Yeah. Maple net.
Yes, maple net.
Cool. What sort of pickup configuration?
Well, it's got your standard P bass pickup.
Yep, you split.
Yep, split
two and two.
Standard jazz pickup at the bridge.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
No idea what any of that means.
It was literally like.
Well, you're a singer.
Yeah, as I said earlier in the podcast, I just couldn't pick between a P bass and a jazz.
Yeah.
And I wanted both of them, or to combine the two, and they just released. Just as I was about to buy one, the Jaguar, which had both pickups in, a different shaped body, and I thought it was something a bit special.
It is beautiful.
Cool.
It is beautiful. Very nice.
See, I've always been Stingray person.
No, that's on my list.
Well, I bought a Stag and took the badge off, pretending it might be a real one.
It's like when you buy a Primark jacket and put a Stone Island logo onto it. You're like, yeah, this is.
That's two basses I always wish I could afford.
Yeah.
Is a Stingray and a Rickenbacker.
I love Rickenbacker, but I'm a big Beatles fan, so I think that's why. Yeah.
See, I've never liked Rickenbacker. I hate the look of them. I hate the way they just. No, I just can't.
I really like it. They were quite a big part of like the punky.
It's well, they come from Germany. Are they German? They're German, aren't they?
I think that's something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. And then it sort of found its. I think it was part of the Hamburg scene. I think, and then it came westernised and all the '60s bands.
There's a lot of like '90s, '80s punk bands that used them as well, which I was quite surprised by.
And Indies, Smiths used them. Yeah. So Johnny Marr has a few.
Yeah.
And
so yours?
Well, mine's. Thing I play electric guitar in Pretty-Babs, but I've got a Sheraton, Epiphone Sheraton. I got it when I was 18, so I was a big Oasis fan for my sins.
Oh right.
I still am, and they're great, but it's a different type of music. And I think at the time I was a teenager and thought I was odd. So
right.
I said to my dad, I want that one because Noel Gallagher had one. But I love it because a lot of other people have had it. But my biggest one is I was a solo artist before. I was an acoustic artist before I was in this band.
Oh right.
And that's when Liam joined the band. But when I played solo, I bought an acoustic guitar. I'd won a Battle of the Bands at the Black Market, and I won £250. I was hungover when I won it. It was very strange. It's a long story, but I won it hungover.
I'm going to get you back in.
Yeah,
I want to know the story.
Well, the nutshell is that I won it hungover, and I snapped a string when I played, but I won it, and I got £250. But I had to borrow a guitar when I snapped the string. It was part of the. And he says, anyway, now you know how to play and sing.
Yeah.
Go out and buy an acoustic guitar, electric acoustic, and start playing the scene. I thought, oh yeah, but I hate Ed Sheeran. I hate Ed Sheeran. I hate all those shocking acoustic. Dad, do it. You'd be fine. Just get an acoustic guitar and try.
Yeah.
So I went out to our local music shop in Mansfield, And there
Was that? I can't think what it's called
It
now.
was Music Scene. It still is, but
Music Scene.
Yeah, but it's only open one day a week. And if you're listening, sort it
It's
out.
only open one day a week.
Yeah,
now.
sort it out. 'Cause I've got about 3 guitars I need fixing.
Oh right.
Yeah, including a Martin acoustic.
I'll give you my card after. I can fix your guitar.
Can you really?
Yeah.
It's a soldering problem.
Yeah.
I've got
What do I do all day
I've
long?
got a Fender Telecaster and a Martin acoustic.
Yeah. Do you want any mods putting on it?
I'm alright. I just need the soldering done.
Alright, I can do that.
We'll talk, Jeffro will talk, man, yeah.
Okay.
So this guitar, it was the, I could either buy with 250 quid, I didn't have any more money, I was 19.
Yeah.
And I was either, and I was still in uni, so it was either buy this Fender or buy, it's called a Turner. I've never heard of Turner.
Yeah.
I looked on their website, their biggest Illuminite is Ronan Keating.
Oh right.
And I thought, well, I've got to get it now.
Well, he's hot. He attracts women.
Yeah, of course he is. I can't understand a word he says, but I'll buy his guitar. You know, I was like, I've got to buy this right now. And anyway, I got that one, and it was great. But it was one of those guitars that I thought you have to batter it in before you do it.
Yeah.
And I counted the amount of gigs I've done with that guitar, and I think in about 7 years, I think I've done about 500 gigs with that guitar. And
Wow.
But it's got a hole in it.
Yeah.
From playing
Is it in the
with
sound
pick.
hole?
No. Below.
Just below the side
Yeah,
hole.
from playing with a pick.
Oh, wow.
Because I play with my fingers as well as a pick, but I was about half and half.
Yeah.
So with that one, I was playing with a pick and I was strumming it really hard, and I've scraped the wood off it.
Oh.
So I put a sound hole over it, didn't work. So
You
what
mean a scratch card?
I did, yeah, scratch card, and then I tried a sound hole, and then I tried sellotape, and it didn't work. So what I've done now is I just stuck loads of stickers over it and gone, fuck it, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
But I'm a huge Star Wars fan, so I've shoved it full of stickers of Star Wars. So it's got Stormtroopers, Death Star, Kylo Ren, that kind of stuff. But every time I go to a gig, wherever, I put like little badges on it and stuff, and I call it Frank, which is quite strange.
Oh right, the guitar.
Well, I'm a big Frank Turner fan. the folk singer.
Yeah.
And when I met him, I met him at an interview, and I said, look, I've got this guitar and it's a Turner. Do you mind if I call it Frank? And he was like, it's your guitar. Do you want?
Yeah.
You know, like normally they have like women's names. I was like, I'll call it what I want. So, so yeah, Frank, my Turner guitar, and I've had it for 7 years, and it's nearly broken. I played it the other night. It's horrible to play. It's really horrible to play. But I'll probably, apart from the mine that you're going to fix.
Yeah. No, I will do.
No, there we are. That's my biggest one. I think for nostalgia, I like him, old Frank. But we always have those kind of guitars, don't we? I suppose. Sorry, that was a long story, but it needed a bit of backstory.
No, I think that's amazing. Like, I've got an old guitar I found in a, what do you call it, a pawn shop, second-hand shop, thrift shop. Mm-hmm. You know, for all the international listeners, that there's probably one.
Yeah.
You know, Derek sat out there.
In Isle of Wight.
Yeah. That's international. Someone said once, do I need a passport to go to the Isle of Wight? And I went, yeah, of course you do. Don't forget it.
Hang on,
oh shit, I'll buy one of them.
We went there. Did we need a passport? No.
Oh, for God's sakes.
Did we not have to go? It's Channel Island there. Yes. Sweet. Sorry about that. Yeah, no, that confused me there.
Forgotten what I said.
I don't know.
Anyway, I bought this guitar. It's the most fucking horrible acoustic you've ever had.
What was it making
And
it?
I still don't know.
Right.
But all I know is I showed my friend the other day and he went, oh yeah, you know your bridge is about a break away from the guitar, and I'm like, best buy a new one then.
Yeah.
But I bought some rainbow strings for it.
Right. Any good?
Yeah, they sound alright. But they're colourful.
Oh, right, okay.
As in they're like red, green, blue and silver. Yeah.
I mean, that's
Thought,
alright.
fuck it. Yeah.
I mean, what gauge are they? 10s, 11s?
China. Off eBay.
Right. They made a copper wire.
Okay, lads. Name your influential band or artist.
Long Liam.
Obviously, mine's Guns N' Roses.
Yeah?
By far, the reason I ever started playing guitar was Slash.
Okay.
Realised I wasn't able to play like him at all because not a good
Because that's Slash.
Yeah.
So I played bass instead.
Yeah, so the reason I picked up bass was because there was thousands of guitarists in the Mansfield area, and everyone was looking for bassists. So I bought a cheap bass and tried that instead. And
listened to Izzy Strandon.
No, Duff McKagan.
Oh yeah, of course, Izzy's the other guitarist.
Yeah. Then started playing basses, but even Duff McKagan, incredible bassist. It's just, they had something special in my eyes. It really, really worked until they destructed themselves.
Two more.
What do you mean 2 more?
I thought you said 3.
No, I said name your influential band or artist.
I said 3. I was like,
no,
Liam, that's only one. They are good.
Yeah.
They're meant to be headlining a festival or something this year, aren't they? They did Download last year, but aren't they supposed to be doing Red on Leeds?
They've not confirmed anything.
I haven't got a clue. I've forgotten about Reading. Used to hang out there, so I don't want to remember that place anymore.
I went to Leeds in 2010. It was not a nice thing.
I love 2010. That was the weird thing about our band, actually.
Oh yeah, that's true.
All 4 of us were at that festival at the same time.
Yeah.
What, before you were a band?
Yeah.
You were all at a festival?
Coincidentally.
All at the same festival.
Wow.
Yeah. Me and Brad have known each other since we were 12 years old anyway, and we met up at the festival. But yeah, unbeknown to us, Sam and Craig were both there as well.
I was 16. I just left school. I was a big indie fan. That was a massive fan, and an emo fan. Emo was it had just come through. I wasn't a My Chemical Romance, but I did like me pop punk. I like me All Time Low, You, Me and Six Paramore sort of cheesy shit.
Yeah.
But I loved that, and then it was 16. We just left school, and unbeknown to us, like Liam says, we were like all there at the same gig. So it's very strange, really. But my influence was quite kind of strange actually, because like, I could sit here and go, "Oh yeah, it was Black Sabbath and Metallica." It wasn't. I love those kind of bands, but my biggest one was strange. My dad taught me guitar.
Yeah.
And his biggest influence was Mark Knopfler, Dire Straits guitarist.
Dire Straits.
Yeah.
Sultans of Swing.
Yeah. And I.
You sit in the studio?
Yes, Maze Grove. Yeah. Sounds arrogant, but because I've been growing up with him, I'm 26 now. Ever since I was 6, I've been listening to him. I know every note of every single song he's ever done, including Dire Straits, including his solo. I've seen him 5 times. I saw him this year.
That's amazing.
He's 70 now, and he still played Romeo and Juliet. He still played Money for Nothing. He still played Once Upon a Time in the West. All these songs that are like, I don't have to define an era because they were almost very subtle. You had to sort of be a guitarist to like them, and that's what I like about Dire Straits, because they're not cool in a way until you listen to them, if that makes sense. They're not cool because they're not culturally cool. They don't wear this. I know they had the wristbands and stuff, but they didn't really hold a place, did they? You know what I mean? They weren't there.
Well, they did. They held a place in everyone's hearts, I think, because not one person I know, and I'm still yet to be proven wrong.
Yeah.
You put on like Money for Nothing, and everyone starts humming the tune. Whether they know the lyrics or not, they'll know the tune.
Yeah. Same like Walk Alive when you play the keyboard, yeah?
Oh.
Yeah. I was like, this is cheesy. And then
that was the first song I ever knew, because my dad used to literally do the Walk Alive in the front room.
I forgot, I can never pronounce that. I can never say it. But yeah, he was... My dad, the thing is, my dad doesn't listen to anything else apart from him, really.
Yeah.
Maybe Eric Clapton, Robert Cray, Jimi Hendrix, that kind of stuff.
Your dad's got taste.
Well, he did. But everyone around me, everyone listened to the emo stuff, and when I was growing up, that's fine. But I was still into all of that.
The only thing I'll say about Mark is the fact that you listen to Dire Straits at the early days of Dire Straits, and you listen to him this year, he has not changed one bit.
No.
He is so distinctive in the way he sounds, the way he plays.
But
and it's amazing that he still comes out with new stuff.
Well, I love his albums because I like folk and I like roots and I like rock. Every time you someone, you go, oh, this sounds like your typical 12-bar blues song. I've heard this before. And then he'll come out with a slide, guitar solo, or he'll come out with a riff and you go, that's Knopfler. And the whole song sounds, you would not be able to say that's Dire Straits. But the moment you hear his fingers go, you go, that's Knopfler. Because it's so distinctive. Because contrary to what his song was saying, that make the guitar cry, make it sing. He can't sing, but I don't know one guitarist who can have a riff or a sound that can carry on through for so many years like Knopfler. Anyway, sorry, you're getting on a rant, but I'm a...
No,
it's just...
This is why I started this podcast, because I need to talk about this stuff.
I don't know, I've always felt quite embarrassed talking about it, and I don't ever know why.
Yeah.
I think it's because of how much I loved them. I think it was one of those things where nobody really talks about them. Everyone talks about them. I love the Beatles and Rolling Stones and all the typical bands you talk about.
See, I love the Beatles music, but what I don't like is the Beatles influence on everyone, because they're like, oh, the Beatles are amazing, they did this, and you know, I want to get that Beatles sound, and it's like, do you know, they use the most shittest equipment compared to what we've got today, but it was the most state-of-the-art then. Of course. But you're now saying, even though you've got better equipment than them, you want to sound worse, but then when you do sound worse, it's like, it's the engineer's fault. Anyway, sorry, that was a rant.
You're right.
That was a rant.
No, you're right. You're right. They played this shitty stuff, but the songwriting was incredible. The recordings were never great. But I don't know. With Dire Straits, it was one of those things where I've almost felt embarrassed, but it was not music to me. It was something else. It's very strange for me to say, very cheesy, but it was almost cinematic.
Brother in Arms was always my favourite song.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Love it.
It's incredible.
Love it.
Simple, you know.
Yeah.
The keyboard, bass, drum, and that Les Paul that he plays, and the video. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry about that. Guns N' Roses are very good though. Very good. But when I saw Guns N' Roses, I walked off. But that was because it was only Axl Rose.
Right. Yeah, so did I.
Yeah.
As soon as you've got internet, do you want to get your...
I've got it up.
Because it's coming up. You were around trying to blend in with all you Northerners. Sorry, Midlanders.
It's coming up, yes,
Midlanders.
Yeah. Little hearty fellas. Yeah.
Name what you're excited about in the upcoming 6 months to a year.
To fit, I think the main one for us within 6 months is going to be Now Then.
Yeah.
First festival headline slot.
Where's that?
Now Then, it's in Bolsover.
Oh wait,
right.
That's not Now Then. Under the Castle.
Oh, Under the Castle, that's the one. Yeah,
that's fine. I know what you mean though. Yeah.
Love that castle.
Bolsover.
Yeah.
So yeah, literally it's Under the Castle Festival, which again is ran by Dave Drury from the Black Market.
Yeah.
All right.
We've got our own headline slot on. They run it on Thursday night because it's bank holiday weekend.
Yeah.
So we've got the Thursday night.
Apparently they sold it out. They sold the Thursday out.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
So,
What? Just see you guys.
Well, another thing. I mean, we talk about like, oh, you were headlining. I hate that term. We're last on, but
Yeah.
I don't know, because we're on about making it quite a bit of a show, because the people that go there actually know it. When I was talking about being kings of a certain scene, or not kings of anything, but people know those kind of festivals. They know the kind of Jews and stuff, and it's nice. It's nice to get recognition for that. So even locally, you know, it's like Derbyshire. It's nice to get that. I agree with that. It's gonna be so good.
That's what I look forward to the most in the next 6 months.
I like, regardless of when this is going to come out, I don't know, but if it comes out after the 1st of February,
yeah, it's going to be out.
Well, if it is out,
unfortunately.
Well, I hope to say that
we will have played Rough Trade.
We will have played. We did a headline gig last year at the Bodega.
Yeah.
And we're playing another one at Rough Trade. And I know it's not a massive venue, but it's one of those things where it's
3rd of February.
3rd of February is coming out. So in 2 days' time, we want to thank Kelsey and the Embers. We want to thank Remy, and we want to thank the Fine Arts Society, 3 bands who have supported us. And we hopefully will have a really good time at Rough Trade. If it gets called off, it means World War III has started.
Fair enough.
If it was on, thank you very much. And I'm sorry I threw up on your shoes. Mum. But you know, I'm
Have you seen Kelsey and the Embers before?
I've seen them, I've seen them.
What they like, because they keep somehow coming up in my feed, and I feel I should go watch them, seeing as they've advertised enough.
I saw.
I've only seen them when.
Is that my sort of? Would I be into them, considering my vast knowledge of music?
Well, yes. I'm glad you said knowledge, because it doesn't. It's not a matter of taste as much as it is just appreciation. Yeah. It's Kelsey Shaw, and she's got. I saw her solo somewhere, and she's got a cracking voice, and their songwriting and their compassion as a group is just fantastic. But all of them are great. I mean, Remy's good. He plays sort of
Remy's fantastic.
Yeah. Coffee sound. I call it coffee shop soundtrack.
Well, he beat us.
Make sure you tag them all into this podcast.
Of course,
yeah, definitely. The Fine Arts Society. They're our boys, really.
Fine Arts Society.
Yeah.
I think I played one of their songs before on the podcast.
Yeah, they do everything.
If you can send me a track, I'll put it on when this podcast comes on.
Yeah.
But I do need you to send me a Wave or MP3 link. Don't just send me a Bandcamp link.
We can send him Kings and Queens by that as well, because that will be out.
Yeah, Kings and Queens. Yeah.
All right. If you can send it to me, I'll put it on after this section.
Sweet.
But what else are you excited about? Come on.
What else am I excited about?
13th of March we've got
personally as well. So if you've got a good holiday coming up or something.
Holiday? Yeah. I don't go further than Nottingham. I think this is the first I'm going all year. No, I'm going to hang on. I'm going to Harry Potter World in April.
Harry Potter World?
I'm a massive Harry Potter. Yeah, we're there. Me and my sister are getting matching tattoos.
You and your sister?
Yeah, I'm going to take my sister. I told my sister I'd take her for her 16th birthday.
Okay.
Harry Potter World.
Yeah.
And she
turned 25.
No, she turned 20. 20, not 25. Yeah, she turned 20 this year, so I was like, I better take you.
All right.
I'll tell you what I'm seeing next month I'm seeing Lana Del Rey. I love her. She's great.
Right. She's got a cracking voice.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm seeing her. I just love her. I love her. That's my not guilty pleasure per se, but I don't know. I love that. If you're gonna have a pop artist, I go for her. So I'm like, it's just different.
It's like I talked in the last recorded podcast I did. Someone quite famous had posted about like listening to Billie Eilish.
I love Billie Eilish. I don't care what anyone says.
Okay, I'll finish what I'm saying, but they posted it was their gym thing, and I'm like, I don't get it. And I literally had to listen to 10 songs of hers, and I was just like, she really hates men, doesn't she? And I still just don't get it.
It's like Taylor Swift's child, essentially.
I think it's a combination between
I like her, man.
Lou Reed and 9 Inch Nails.
That's great. That's great.
I just mean by her hating men. Like, it's just Taylor Swift's love child. I don't
think Billie Eilish hates men. I just think she hates the world, so she sings about it.
Right, come on then. I've kept you long enough. I'm going to ask the last question, and then we're going to bring this to a close.
No worries.
In your opinion, what makes the Nottinghamshire alternative scene great?
Generally community. Like, there is quite a big community, but it's all based around...
You can say it's not if you want.
No, but it's all based around everyone striving for that one place. Everyone wants to play City.
Yeah.
I think that's it. Everything revolves around City, I think, and that's where everyone wants to be, is headlining that show at City.
We had a conversation recently about expectations of the band, our band, but also all the bands, and we realised that that only 1% get whatever record deal did, and I think the moment that, I don't know about everyone else, but the moment I shed that ideology that it was all about making it, inverted commas,
right,
the more I started enjoying what I was doing, and the fact that you had to set personal expectations. And I think the biggest expectation for me is if I got a support slot at Rock City and got a local following of my friends, family and fans, that'd be, I could go, you know what, I don't have to play the gig again. So I think that is what makes the community good, is that it's all striving to play only a handful of bars and venues around here. I mean, I've never gone, oh my God,
You are, sorry, I'm just, my head's suddenly spinning then. You are in touch with Chris from IKE Productions.
Yeah, no, Chris.
Yeah, cool.
Chris,
I was just making sure that you were, because the way you were saying that you want to strive to...
Yeah, and I don't know Chris that much. I mean,
but at least just keep poking him every now and then and say we're available for a gig.
Yeah.
Good
I mean,
lad.
we've all played like good slots in respective bands. When I was a solo, I played Rescuers as a support slot and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I think to do it as the four of us to get a good slot that we can cross out and say that's a milestone, and again, I still could retire. I know it sounds like a low expectation, but in terms of the community of Nottingham,
yeah,
I think I've done that now. We've played Splendour. We've played Rock City supporting Feeder or Ash or whatever band you want to say.
Yeah.
I mean, we've done that. That for me, do it for me. That's better than playing in front of 1,000 strangers at O2 Arena. Yeah. In my opinion, that's. So I think that's what makes it about the community, because just Nottingham, they just strive for that one place.
Yeah.
I like the locality. I like the respect that everyone shows. And if they don't show respect, it's often because they're treating it like this place is nothing, and it isn't nothing. It's home. You always want to be significant in your home, don't you? So I like that. I always go on a psychological fucking rant.
Yeah, you do.
I'm really sorry.
I'm loving your rants today. Honestly, I'm going to be editing this back, and I'm going to go.
I'm trying to make you talk more. I'm sorry. Can't say something.
It's fine. I'm alright.
Say a riddle.
Alright. I like listening to your rants anyway. You go off on so many tangents, I just struggle to follow them sometimes.
I am like.
Does he do this when you're trying to write a song?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And this is why he's the lead singer?
Yeah.
To be fair, I write most of the lyrics. That's probably why I'm going to
We have our own key songs and stuff that we've all written.
Yeah. I like Liam's key song is the new single that's coming out, and when he sent us the lyrics, I was like, right, I'll rearrange it so it fits. And one of the lines was, "Go home and shag your sister."
No, it wasn't.
It was because
Really?
No.
because he was annoyed.
I tried to write
He was annoyed at a customer.
It was so bad. I was looking at customers at work, and
He was looking at sister porn.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, you were. Porn obstructed you.
It was literally. I was at work, and I was looking at the couples. You know when?
You alright?
No. It was
Right, come on, I've got to poke that way, come on.
So you're looking at the couples that are sat at your till, essentially, or they're sat...
Couples?
Yeah, brother and
the
sister.
tub, and you can just see them at each other's throat, like they've got a kid, they're at each other's throat all the time, and you just look at it and think, I bet he's, screwing your sister behind your back. Essentially, it was that.
Oh, is it not your actual sister screwed your missus's sister?
The lyric was, go home and...
I bet you're going home.
Go home and screw your sister.
No, it was her sister.
It was your sister.
It wasn't.
Right. So, as you can tell, it didn't stay.
I prefer the way he said. Right, lads. No, I didn't mean as in... Whoa, hang on. Whoa. No, not interested in my sisters whatsoever.
Love it.
No.
It's going in a completely
right.
different direction to what I thought.
Well, you should write songs about inbred fucking scenarios then. Sorry.
You are from Mansfield area.
Wow. Okay.
Whoa, okay,
Right,
okay.
Jesus.
Anyway, we're going to end the
from
podcast.
a royal family opposite me. Okay, yeah. All right. Don't swear.
Anything else you'd like to say before we bring this to a close?
No, I'm just happy that anyone, if anyone is listening, that they've taken the opportunity to listen.
Yeah.
Keep listening to the podcast, obviously.
Yeah.
And
Keep an eye out for new music throughout the year.
For Pretty-Babs, but also all the Nottingham bands, I think. Yeah. That's the key, really. And I suppose the one message I've got, even though I'm going off on a tangent again, is I don't know, I forgot. There we go. We'll end it.
Well, I'm going to say
stay respectful to your fellow band, because no one should be in competition on any scene, because arguably no one is going to go into that big step.
Yeah,
and that's fine. And if they do, that's fine too. But respect the scene you got.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Respect
well,
the neighbours.
I will say, I'm going to try and get to one of your gigs next.
Yeah.
Because, I've enjoyed your music today whilst I'm sat at work. It's been an absolute blast, and you guys will probably be an absolute laugh on stage. So I suggest everyone does try and get along, regardless of what music they're into. Experience something different. Anyway,
I like that.
Thank you very much.
Absolute pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm just shaking your hand off. That's absolutely fine.
Cheers.
Thank you, Nots Rockers, for listening to NottsRockCast over YouTube. As I've said before, please go check us out on a podcast player and you will get more media content, news and reviews. So, don't forget, hit that subscribe button, ding that bell to be notified when we release more videos on this channel. Keep it Nots, keep it rocks.
NottsRockCast is an association with Regular Riot. to NottsRockCast, the Notts Alternative Scene podcast. And here is your host, Jethro D, bringing you everything Notts and Rock.